Hello student, today we will continue our previous lecture of distributed DBMS chapter number 2. In previous lecture we have discussed about the various kind of anomalies like insertion anomalies, deletion and updation. So we have some drawback when we manage the whole large single relation or a table. Okay, so now how we can resolve such kind of anomalies? So what we have to do? So to take each relation individually and improve in term of the desired characteristic. Now up to this we have considered we have one table which contains all the information about various data, okay, that we are going to store in our relational or table. Okay, so for that we need a normalization process. Okay, so in that case we have to normalize our form. So what is exactly the normalization? What action is performed into the normalization of process? And remember one thing, when we normalize our table, so single large table is divided into a number of tables, smaller tables. So first, in normalization form we have atomic values in the first normal form. Here 1NF means first normal form. So in first normal form we should have a atomic value. Atomic value in the sense of, consider a case, suppose we are storing a information about a customer. So customer might have a two mobile number. So we have a, suppose only one attribute of the mobile number to store. Okay, so at that case we cannot store multiple value for that particular attribute. So in the first normal form we will think about that for each and every attribute the value should be atomic, means a single attribute may only contain a single value, multiple values are not allowed into the first normal form. So can be defined according to the key and dependency. So after first normal form we have a second, third normal form and BCNF form. Okay, in these three form we are considering about the functional dependency. Okay, so whenever we find any functional dependency we have to resolve it, and in the fourth normal form we have to deal with a multi-value dependency. Okay, so first we will deal with a normalization. So normalization is a process of concept separation which applies a top-down methodology for producing a schema by subsequent refinement and decomposition. So what is the normalization? Is a process of concept of separation. Separation in the sense of, up to this point we think we have a one large table or a one large relation. Now in normalization process we have to split that particular large table into a small number of tables. Okay, so which is applied to the top down methodology, because we have already well defined one large table, so we have always one table available. So by this table we have to go for a smaller number of tables for producing a subsequent refinement and decomposition. So do not combine unrelated set of a fact in one table. So what care we have to take on that, do not combine unrelated set of a fact into the one table, and each relation should contain an independent set of the fact. A universal relation assumption is that first NF to third NF or a first NF to BCNF. So either we can go for first normal form to third normal form, or if you need a 1FF to BCNF. Okay, now in the next slide we have a normalization issues. So how do we decompose the schema into a desirable normal form? So what criteria should the decomposed schema follow in orders to preserve the semantic of the original schema? That means, okay, suppose we have a one large table and all the information is already well set and already stored. So once we split that particular large one relation into a number of a relation, so we have to keep keep in mind that all the information should be there. Okay, so of course, suppose I want to get some data, some of the after a normalization process, so some of the table data is stored in the table number 1, another data is stored into the table number 2. So when we compose this thing, okay, we will get our original relation. So first thing that we have to consider about is reconstructibility. So whenever we reconstruct our relation, okay, we should have each and every data. That means suppose in the large table we have 5 number of tuples or a records. Okay, so when we combine, when we split that particular relation, the number of records should be the same. Okay, whenever we reconstruct or whenever we compose these two relation, we have a same number of records. Okay, so recover the original relation, number of spurious joins. Lossless decomposition, that means no information loss. Okay, all the information should be there, number of attribute, number of records, and each and everything that we have already in our last table. Dependency preservation, third one is the constraint. That means dependency that hold on original relation should be enforceable by the means of a constraint defined on the decomposed relation. What happened to the query? Okay, so when we normalize our table, okay, so what's about the query? So processing time may increase due to the join. Okay, here why we need a join? Because here whenever we would like to get the data from various tables between two, suppose I want to get the data from table number 1 and from table number 2. So in that case I need to join these two tables. So in that case, when we apply our query, we should have some join mechanism, and whenever we use the join, it increase in the processing time, because right now when the query is in the implementation mode, okay, at that time the query have to concern with the two table and condition itself. Okay, and second one is the denormalization. Now what functional dependency is? So given relation R, suppose we have one relation, okay, the name given to that relation is R, that define over a U a number of attribute A1, A2, An, where X subset or equal to U, Y same like that, and if for all the pair of tuple T1 and T2 in any legal instance of a relation schema R. So T1 X is equal to T2 X implies to T1 Y equal to T2 Y. Then the functional dependency X to Y holds into the R. Okay, so by this way we can find out the functional dependency. Clear? So X to Y holds into the relation R. So we can say there is a functional dependency in X and Y. Example, suppose in relation employee that we have already discussed in previous slides. Okay, in employee we have an employee number and project number, which defines the name of employee or it holds title, salary, duration and responsibility. So in relation project table, project number define or holds the project name and budget. So this is a kind of a functional dependency. That means a particular attribute, it depend on a set of a attribute or a particular single attribute. Here this information is depended on E number and P number, that means employee number and project number, while in the project relation, project name and budget is related to the project number. Okay, so here we have a functional dependency. Now normalization. The first NF. Okay, so normalization form based on the functional dependency. So whole our normalization process is built upon the based on the functional dependency. Okay, so in the first NF it eliminates the relation within the relation or relation as a attribute of a tuples. So in first normal form, it eliminates the partial functional dependency of a non-prime attribute to the key. Here what we have to do in the first normal form, we have to eliminate the partial functional dependency and also non-prime attribute to the key attribute. So in second normal form, so lossless dependency preserving in the second normal form. So in second normal form, it eliminates the transitive functional dependency of a non-prime attribute to the key. Transitive dependency in the sense of, suppose we have a x that holds the over the y, and suppose I have a y that holds the z. Okay, so via this y attribute, we can say that we have a x to z. Okay, so this is known as a transitive dependency. Clear? Now in the third normal form, it eliminates the partial and transitive functional dependency of the prime attribute to the key. And last one is the Boyce coded normal form. This is also known as a Boyce coded normal form. Now we have a example of a normalization of the relational example. So here we have a employee table, assign table, project and pay. Here we have a for number of a table that is already in the normalization form. That suppose in previous we have a this table. Okay, so by here we are normalizing this table, and we are getting how many number of the normalized form. We have a for normalization form over here. First one is employee, assignment, project and pay. Now the next topic is relational algebra. You have already studied about relational algebra into the database management system, but here we have we have to study about some old concept that we have already studied into the database management system. So what is relational algebra and what its functionality is that it specifies how to obtain the result using a set of operator. The form of the relational algebra is operator, number of parameter, operand and its result. Okay, so in order to get the result, we should have operator, number of parameter and operand, and if we have such kind of a thing, we will get the result. Okay, but remember one thing, operand should be relation, and in result we will also get the relation. So in the place of operand, we will put some table name over here, because here we should have a relation. Here we have a relational algebra operator. The fundamental is selection, projection, union, set difference and Cartesian product. Additional algebra operators are intersection, theta join, natural join, semi join, division. Okay, so these are the fundamental and some additional relational algebraic operations. And some another term are union compatibility. In next some slide we will deal with union compatibility. So what is exactly the union compatibility means? A same degree. That means already we have seen how to find the degree of the particular relation, and we can get a degree of a relation by counting a number of attribute present on that particular relation and corresponding attribute defined over the same domain. So this is known as a union compatibility. Now we will discuss fundamental first, selection operator. So selection operator produces a horizontal subset of the operand relation. Now what is the horizontal subset? Think about that. Suppose we have a customer relation which contains the 10 number of tuples or a record. What we have? We have a customer table which contains the 10 records or a 10 customer information, but out of 10 I would like to get a information about only 3 customer, okay, that have make a transaction more than a 1 lakh, okay, or something like that. So at that time, not all the 10 customer have withdraw or transact a money like 1000, 10,000 or any lakh, okay. So in that case, suppose I want to find out such customer that withdraw 1 lakh rupee. So in that case, out of 10 I will get only 3 records. 3 record in the sense of only 3 customer make a transaction of 1 lakh rupees. So here we have only 3 record in the relation. Or how many? Only 3 records, okay. Because what we should have a operand, we have a relation, and in result we have a relation. So what we get a relation of how many customer? 3 customer as a result. So what is the general form of selection? So the selection symbol is sigma, f is the function, r is the relation. So what it means? T, that means tuples, a T belongs to R. So whatever the result we will get, it should be belongs to relation R, and ft is true, where the particular f is true for the particular tuples. So in previous example, we have a 10 customer, and which kind of customer we would like to find out? Who had made a transaction of 1 lakh rupee. So ft becomes a true for that 3 customer who has transacted money equal to 1 lakh rupee, okay. Where r is what? R is the relation, t is a tuple variable, f is the formula or a function that consists of a operand that are constant or a attribute. Arithmetic comparison we can apply over here, that is less than, greater than, equal, not, less than or equal to, and greater than equal to, and logical operator and or and not, okay. So this is a general form of the selection formula. Selection example, first thing should be what? The symbol of selection. Then we have a condition. Condition is what? Titles equal to electrical engineering of relation R. Here relation R is equal to employee. So here on this relation, what selection formula we have? Select a such kind of a title which has a condition or a title is equal to electrical engineer. So we have a first record, second record of the electrical engineer. No other records are available with the title electrical engineer. So in result we will get the E1 do electrical engineer, yes, and second E6 L2 electrical engineer, okay. So here we have how many records? Here total we have 8 records, and how many records we will get in the result? 2 record, okay. So this 2 is a subset of our relation employee, okay, because employee have 8 record and our result table has a 2 record. 2 record by which? By specifying this condition, the title is equal to electrical engineer, okay. Now the projection. Now remember one thing, selection display or result as a subset of a particular tuples or a particular set of tuples, and projection give us a subset of a attribute. Suppose right now in our one relation we have a 10 number of attribute, okay, but out of 10 I need only 3 number of attributes that is important for a result. So at that time we have to just need only 3. So in the projection we have a subset of attributes. So produce a vertical slice of a relation, vertical in the sense of column or attribute or a field. So general form of the projection, algebraic form is here pi, this is the symbol of projection, a1 up to an, this is the name of attribute or a number of attribute that we would like to display into our result relation. Here R place for relation, the original relation on which we would like to apply this projection procedure. In result, what we will get? In result, we will get the tuple T with n number of attribute. What in result? We will get a number of tuple T with this number of attribute. These attribute are same like this. Suppose here we have suppose I have applied 3 attribute in result, so here 3 attribute, and that T belongs to R. So here all tuple we will get, and we subset of the attributes or a column. Now the general term R is relation, T is the tuple variable, A1 to AN is the subset of attribute over the R, which is projection will be performed. Note that projection can be generated duplicate tuples. What? Projection can generate a duplicate tuples. Commercial system like SQL allow these and provides. So projection with a duplicate elimination and projection without a duplicate elimination. Now here we have a result of the projection. Suppose here we have a project relation, and project relation have a number of column is equal to 3, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, here we have applied the pi place for a projection, and which attribute? Project number and budget. So in our original relation we have a 3 attribute, and in result we will get only 2 attribute that we have mentioned, that is project number and budget. But remember one thing, it will give all the tuples. So how many tuples are there in the project table? 4, and in result also we have a 4 tuples. So here we are applying a filtering on the attributes or a column. So here we have a subset of the project table with the 2 attribute, project number and its budget. Leave this lecture. In next lecture we will cover about union and some other fundamental algebraic operations.